A lot of things happening at the moment around the country. NEC meeting here in Gauteng, and the EFF celebrations taking place in Mpumalanga. But in KwaZulu-Natal, the IFP Women's League is gathering, and Prince Mongasutu Buthelezi is speaking to them right now. Let's cross there now live.
Woods and causing divisions, as the chairperson of the Women's Brigade has just told us. Fracturing our society with angry words. That is not the way of the IFP. We know the energy that vibrates from South Africa's women. It can be directed towards destruction or salvation. Those are the two options. We can either direct us to destruction or salvation. Indeed, this generation of women can save South Africa or burn it down. That's the choice. The IFP stands on the side of salvation. I must sound a warning when it comes to elected leaders. The problem of slates has crept into the IFP and is totally against our character. We cannot come here with a ready-made script and simply act out what has been cast in stone long before this moment. That will make an election conference pointless, in fact. We need to vote with our hearts and with our heads too, empowering leaders we personally trust and respect. I therefore call on you, comrades, to vote in accordance with your conscience and your duly authorized mandate from your branch. Let us emerge from this conference with the right leaders to take us forward. The IFP is different from other parties. We choose leaders for what they can do for the party, not for what they can do for a few or for themselves. The IFP prides itself on honest leadership, creative activism, and strong democratic ideals. Throughout our constitution, we have created a framework for these values to underpin every level of activity, from our local branches all the way up to a national conference. We understand that a strong IFP depends on strong and active branches. I therefore want to challenge the IFP Women's Brigade today to resurrect the kind of grassroots activism that creates space for people to participate, to innovate, and bring their contribution. Our party's women have always been talented when it comes to bringing people together. So let us capitalize on this, using it to strengthen a network of branches. We have learned this over and over again, even in by-elections, that whenever there are by-elections, even in a ward, wherever there are branches, we always win. But wherever there are no branches, we never do well. It has been proven over and over again. And a branch, by the way, is not just a list of names of people who might vote for IFP. It's an active, growing group of committed supporters who identify with the IFP's brand. Within a branch, friendships are formed based on common purpose. Members feel relevant, valuable, and valued. And as they give their contribution, loyalty deepens. I remember how proud our branches and constituencies used to be whenever we had a conference of the Women's Brigade. There was fierce and friendly competition to put on the best display of crafts, handwork, and fresh produce. Indeed, all our Women's Brigade conferences used to open with an exhibition showcasing the creativity of our women. This is something I've missed. It was inspiring for our young girls to see what their mothers, their aunts, grandmothers were capable of. And it was encouraging for the older generation to see the ingenuity of our young girls as they brought their own unique contribution. This spoke so clearly of the IFP's commitment to self-help and self-reliance. It's a pity that we haven't seen such exhibitions now for years. I realize that time and space were negating factors against a full-scale exhibition at this conference, and the chairperson of the Women's Brigade has articulated some of the obstacles that prevent us from doing what we should have been done. But I want to lay down a challenge to the next leaders of the Women's Brigade to reinstate the Women's Brigade exhibition as an annual event, even when there is no conference. There is another tradition that is worth returning to. In fact, without it, our strength is likely to decline. This is the tradition of political education for young women leaders. Changing tomorrow demands action today. We need to mentor and empower our young women leaders now so that they can create that future of social and economic justice that we all long for. They need to understand politics and they need to understand ideologies. They need to be taught critical thinking, to see behind what is behind empty rhetoric. They need to know how to find the right response to whatever the future holds. We know that we want the future to look like. All of us know what kind of future we long for. We want gender-based violence to be relegated to our nation's past. We want genuine equality and equal rights on the sports field, in the classroom, in the boardroom, in courts and clinics, in the media and in the arts. We want the voice of women to be heard and heeded, to be respected. We want women to be empowered and assisted so that they are never held hostage for fear of finances, for other fear of finances. We want women to be healthy, to be able to lead their best life, and to be able to make choices for their own lives. Well, all of us know that we constitute the largest segment of the poorest of the poor as black people. But you know that our people in this country developed things like stokvels long ago, not Ipanoi, which has ruined many people. But stokvels, fed cooks, etc. You know, I always make an example, because I belong to a mainline church, the Anglican church. I mean, mainline churches that have got whites. But you find that black churches that were started by black people, like the Baptist Church of Nazareth, for instance, St. Olawashembe, or the Pentecostal, for instance, Soweto, and many others, that women there generate income. I don't think there should be a branch that hasn't got, a fund, that hasn't got a banking account. There's a challenge I throw to you today. I always think first of all, thank my colleague, Mrs. Mteto, Mrs. Madaba Mteto, the chairperson, for the kind words that she directed to my family. I always think that I'm fortunate in a way, because I don't think I can imagine how painful it would be if my children didn't support my politics. I always pity many parents whose children go in a different direction from them. And I think it's wonderful that my children have always supported me. My daughters are serving our country through governance and politics. One of them was disturbed by illness from doing so. They know their own minds and they're making their mark. I have a granddaughter lighting up the international stage in the world with her music, LaToya. And I've had the ultimate example of feminine strength in my late wife, Njunkulu Mamzi, and of course my own mother. These women have taught my heart what my head already knew, that there is nothing second-rate about women. There is absolutely no reason to discriminate against women on the basis of gender. or on any other basis, in fact. Women's rights are among the hard-won rights we fought for in the liberation struggle. We must treasure what we have won. We must also realize that with all the strength and creativity that belongs to South Africa's women, many of them are facing adverse circumstances, and many of them need our help. We know it is wrong that women suffer abuse. Yet still there are women being hurt and intimidated by their partners. You read newspapers every 2 days. We know it is wrong for women to earn less than men for doing the same work. Yet the balance is still against female employees. We know that women are perfectly capable of becoming engineers, scientists, or surgeons, even of rock scientists, or flying planes. But still we have girls who drop out of school because the system is skewed against their education. It is time to address many injustices that South Africa's women still face. The IFP's manifesto of 2019 presented a strategy for how to do this. We highlighted some simple interventions, like getting a social worker into every community. This would enable many more women to find support when tragedy strikes. Whether it's breast cancer, or a child's on drugs, or an unwanted pregnancy, or mounting debt, women should never feel alone when they face.
All right, so we're going to come out of that. That was the IFP leader, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi, addressing the party's Women's Brigade elective conference that's taking place. And we are expecting the announcement of the new chairperson in a short while, and we'll take you there as it happens. And there is